Thank you, Brick, for that weather update. Now over to Daniel D. with our Sunday feature.
Thank you, Kimberly Dawn. We are indeed back in Jacksonville, Florida. Today is Thursday, July 8th of 2016, and we are in front of the restaurant where the owners are the alleged perpetrators of a crime that happened on Memorial Day. But today we're here to meet with the group's ground commander, Marine Huey James, the man responsible for keeping these protests peaceful, keeping altercations to an absolute minimum and avoiding at all cost, and just a dynamic individual to meet, and obviously well respected by the group. Before we meet Mr. Huey James, I'd like to take just a few seconds to allow our viewers to listen and see some of the responses from the community to these protesters.
All right, so Ground Commander Marine Huey James. Now, Mr. James, is it okay to refer to you as Huey, or what do you?
Huey's fine.
Huey's fine.
Yeah.
I was amazed today when I called in to the administrators of the groups and asked for Huey, and there seems to be a tremendous amount of edification amongst the groups and the members, because I was politely but firmly, it was known that you were referred to as Marine Huey James and were the ground commander of the group. What got you involved with the effort?
I'm a member of the Legion where this happened, and I got up the Sunday morning after it happened, and I read the story, heard the story. I decided I'd come out for a couple of days and voice my opinion. I've been here since day one on it. I'm gonna be here until it's over with. People 60 and 55 years old don't act like this.
So you've been out here now, so this means it's been over a month that you've been out here with the other volunteers, because these are all volunteers that are leading this effort. Is that correct?
That's correct. Everybody here is volunteer. I work 10-hour days, and I come out after work. I come out on Saturday and Sunday, my days off. And I'm going to continue until we see a positive result from it.
And we understand things at times have been a little heated, not on the group's part, but apparently there are some, for lack of a better word, agitators that are either friends of the restaurant or just don't like the boycott. Understand you may have been involved with at least one or two of those, as far as being the target of those folks. Is there anything about that at all you'd want to share?
Yeah, man. One guy in particular, he's approached me twice. Told me that we should be supporting somebody that fought a little hard. We had another guy walked over to give me some water, and I was coming across the driveway, and he sped up and came within 4 or 5 inches of hitting me. And the thing they don't know about me, all that does is just make me stay here longer. Not going to be intimidated.
So very much like the gentleman we interviewed the other day, Bob, that was a veteran of the Navy, you are dedicated to the cause. And is that because of the individual that it happened to, or was it a catalyst to something bigger?
Mr. Charles Hughes is 1 year younger than me. That means he's a Vietnam era veteran. Whether he served in Vietnam, I don't know. I know what guys went through when they came home. At 66, 67, 68 years old, we don't need to be treated the way he was treated. I will stand against anybody that does that. And like I said, I'm here till this thing's over with. I want them to look out the window every day and see me here.
That is dedication, sir. And we understand now, after our last interview with the Navy veteran Bob, that there is a pre-trial date. Is that something that there will be a presence of this group there, or how are you guys handling the court issues?
We talked about it. Mr. Hughes' attorney was out here today. I don't think we're going to be there for the July 19th preliminary hearing. He doesn't seem to think that the defendants will be there for that. So we'll just wait and see what happens after that. But we will be here.
We did see some publicly posted pictures at the courthouse, and it almost appeared as though the alleged perpetrators of this particular crime, I hate to say it, but to this journalist, Mr. Lodge looked as though he was smiling as he went into court. Has that been your experience, that there's not very much remorse or any at all shown?
Yeah, that's part of what's got me fired up with this thing. Is he doesn't take responsibility for what he did. The talk out here, and everybody's heard me say it, if Monday morning he'd have just woke up and said, got on the news and said, hey, I made a mistake, I take full responsibility for it, I wouldn't be here. I could be home with my wife, I could be hanging out with my grandkids. He chose to take the arrogant route. I'm going to choose to take the peaceful route and be here on the side of University Boulevard waving to everybody in arms.
Well, it sure seems like you've got the community support for just the few minutes we've been here. A lot of honks, a lot of waves. Does that help with just kind of keeping up the pace as far as being out here day in and day out?
It does, especially in this heat. It's extremely hot out here, it's extremely humid. That's like adrenaline to everybody that's here.
Well, Mr. James, I'm going to let you get back to waving at the crowd and let you get to some shade. We appreciate your time, and we won't make the mistake of referring to you as Huey without asking permission again. It's been a real pleasure.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
I believe it's worth noting that on this particular day, it was well over 100 degrees, humidity that actually needed doorknobs so you could try and get through it. But that is the kind of dedication that these volunteers have. They are not scared of the heat. They are taking shifts. It is very well organized. Marine Huey James and myself had a much longer conversation than what is airing. I think it was particularly of interest to note that as a combat veteran, when Mr. James returned to his hometown, he was one of the many veterans that were shunned, spat upon, and otherwise degraded by local folks that didn't agree with what was going on with the war at the time. And I think we've transcended to a new place where we support our troops, whether we support the action or not. And the final thought with Mr. James, and I have a hard time not calling him Marine Huey James, but is just how peaceful a gentleman he is, and the effect that his calm nature and leadership has brought to the organization of these protesters. And from every angle, when you watch this story or any other that we've done, this parking lot used to be completely full with customers. So while they are being completely peaceful, they are also making an impact. And from BWDE News to the group in Arlington, we appreciate what you are doing and standing up for what is right. Daniel D., until next time, see ya.
Thank you, Brick, for that weather update. Now over to Daniel D. with our Sunday feature.